Funeral parlours are battling to prevent bodies from decomposing because of load shedding. Eskom has announced that load shedding will continue to persist at stage 5 with the possibility of dropping to lower levels by tomorrow. Let's discuss this further. We are now joined via Zoom by the Chairperson of the Southern African Chamber of Undertakers, Nhlanhla Bembe. A very good afternoon to you, sir. Thanks very much for joining us here on SABC News.
Good afternoon to the viewers and good afternoon to you, Flo.
Yeah. Let's talk about the impact then that load shedding has on how you conduct your day-to-day business. I must say it's particularly concerning the fact that you are unable as businesses in some instances to prevent bodies from decomposing. In a clip that we played earlier, you were talking about generators not being able to assist very much. Why is that? And I would assume that an undertaker would have, one of the best generators so that they can deal with these kind of issues, especially given the fact that this is the reality that we've been dealing with for some time now, the issue of load shedding. So talk to us completely about what the issues are.
Yeah, thanks for having us here. Hey, this load shedding is really crippling the funeral industry, especially small and emerging ones. We do have generators as backup to power up cold rooms. The challenge now is the blackouts are constant and long. So as a result, it's becoming expensive to store human remains.
To increase your prices, as undertakers, and how exactly would that assist? Where exactly would that money be going? You mentioned the fact that it's becoming expensive to store bodies. How so?
As I said before, we use generators for backup. So now we use them daily and for longer times. So that means we must buy more diesel. Yeah. As we know, we have an issue of expensive diesel and petrol. So it has become expensive in that way.
Yeah. There have been calls for government to perhaps subsidize the funeral industry, which would ensure that, those that don't have generators get generators, and those of you who are battling with your generators, you're talking about the expense of petrol and so forth. Do you support these particular calls? Because it would be particularly worrying for consumers to be the ones to bear the brunt for something that essentially isn't our fault.
I'm 100% behind the call of the government funding the funeral industry. The funeral industry is the only industry in South Africa that is not funded by government. There is no budget for the funeral industry. So if the government can come in and help us install solar panels, that would be great.
Yeah. And what kind of conversations are you then having, whether it is with government about the subsidy? Because, it's one thing to just talk about it with us, but, are you indeed taking those conversations further? And are you getting any is anyone hearing you?
Unfortunately, the government doesn't listen to us. As you have noticed, for the past 3 years, we've been striking, we've been marching to get attention, but nobody listens to us. Yeah. Even when COVID was rife, nobody spoke about us, and we did most of the job. Nobody subsidized us, nothing. So we were on our own, as usual.
Yeah. All right, Nhlanhla, thanks very much for speaking to us. Nhlanhla Bembe, South African, from the Southern African Chamber of Undertakers. He is the chairperson. Thank you very much, sir.